we give you the one person who could play Victor Von Doom.
New mask. Same task. What did I tell you? I like playing complicated characters.
Don't ask questions. Just consume product and then get excited for next product.
I understood that reference.
Our knees, throw our back out. We want a trophy.
So I gotta be real honest here. I'm still kind of sorting out my feelings about this whole Robert Downey Jr. playing Dr. Doom thing. I don't know. I mean, it is Robert Downey Jr. Robert Downey Jr. is awesome. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But it does reek of desperation at the same time.
Which is still very dehumanizing, but in a much more flattering sort of way.
And I'm sure Robert Downey Jr. got paid a whole hell of a lot of money to make this appearance. So I'm not feeling sorry for him in the slightest. But at the same time, Dr. Doom, the only thing that makes sense is that he's some sort of Tony Stark variant, maybe one off of Age of Ultron, who decided to put the world into a suit of armor and become a dictator. Or attempt to become a dictator. Those are the only things I can come up with. But then that really takes away from Doom himself. He's not only a dictator, he took over his own country and has a penchant for using both magic and technology. Magic has been established. He's basically Doctor Strange meets Iron Man. And I don't know, that doesn't sit right with me either. It's like, is Robert Downey Jr. going to play it that way, or is he going to play it some other way? Is he going to be scarred? Because let's face it, stars like to show their faces. He doesn't like doing voiceover work, so it's like, okay.
I love limes. I love them. They're great. I love them so much, and I like to present them like this in my house.
Why does he wear the mask? And then it gets into his whole motivation and da-da-da. You kind of see the complicated, tumbling weed we got here. And plus, let's face it, Robert Downey Jr. gets paid way too much now to make long-term appearances. Now, on the other side of this, don't get me wrong, after Jonathan Majors kind of screwed up and...
Don't you ever interfere with me again!
Kang got turned into spaghetti, in case you missed Loki. Yeah, there's not much left to do with that character. I really hate that Kang got kind of crapped on and beat up by ants. Variant would have been perfect because, let's face it, all these Kangs looked kind of lame, to say the least. And I mean, it was getting boring and, yeah, it just wasn't working.
Art thou bored?
A new variant might have revitalized it. I don't know. A new variant got rid of the Council of Kangs. I won't say never. But at the same time, throwing Doom in there does solve the problem.
Don't ask questions. Just consume product and then get excited for next product.
However, Doom may not be the cure. Yeah, he can get rid of the Council of Kangs very easily. That's not a problem. Doom to me was going to be an ongoing. In my brain, Doom is an ongoing threat. He is one of the biggest, baddest baddies in the Marvel Universe. And he is constantly there. And my hope was they were going to keep him around a long, long time.
It seems like a better idea than eating food grown on Uranus. Let's take a look at...
With Robert Downey Jr. playing Doom, I don't think that's going to happen. I could be wrong, but I doubt it.
That is not the correct answer.
Now, does Robert Downey Jr. have the ability to play the part? Absolutely. I do fear it's going to be an evil Iron Man rather than being Dr. Doom, though. And I know, yeah, there's infamous Iron Man, blah, 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 blah. Stop it with that crap, okay? Don't comic book me.
Someone has mixed an Amazing Spider-Man in with the Peter Parker the Spectacular Spider-Man series. This will not stand.
Now, it's been rumored for years that Robert Downey Jr. was going to come back as Iron Man in possibly a variant in Secret Wars. The other thing is, to me, Secret Wars was kind of the last gasp, the last good thing Marvel did. And it was a desperate Hail Mary pass, and it kind of worked on some levels. That's not to say there's not issues with the storyline, but overall, I thought it was pretty okay. Not perfect by any stretch, but it's also the last thing I read from Marvel that I really liked. And I'm saying that as a lifelong comic book fan. And I rarely buy comics anymore. I occasionally do a digital subscription and keep up. And God, everything since Secret War has just been garbage. I just can't get into it. And I mean, it was already pretty bad going into Secret War, but it got even worse after. And Marvel Comics doesn't really hold a lot for me. MCU was kind of getting there. It was decent interpretations of previous stories. So I kind of went with it. I was enjoying it for the most part. You know, I can honestly say, I mean, I like Multiverse of Madness better than most people. But I can see why some people didn't like it. The Eternals is one of the worst movies Marvel ever produced. The TV shows, they kind of fall between okay and not so okay. And I know they put the brakes on everything to try to redo it, and I get the move to make Falcon Cap. It makes sense, but at the same time, I don't know if he can carry a full movie. We'll see on that one. That could go south pretty quickly. It could be pretty good. It's hard to tell. But, you know, they got projects like Agatha coming up, and it's like, oh, God. I will probably end up watching that one, but I'm not going to be thinking I'm going to get anything worthwhile out of it. And sometimes that helps. Go in with lowered expectations, and it, you know, oh, wasn't that bad. I mean, it wasn't good, but it wasn't that bad. Of course, I tried that with The Acolyte, and that didn't go well. The bar was so low, and that show was so bad. But the decision to bring back Robert Downey Jr. just feels like utter desperation. Sounds like some corporate guy sitting there going, we need to make money. How do we make money? Hey, let's get that Robert Downey Jr. guy back. He made money. Yeah, that'll work. But how do we bring him back? Well, we'll make him the villain. Okay, yeah. I mean, it just smells of that. And, you know, Robert Downey Jr. is going to make a whole lot of money out of it. And it might be good. It might be other crap. So we're just going to have to wait and see. At the same time, I've got very mixed emotions about it. I'm glad to see him back in the MCU. I'm not sure how this is going to translate. And I got a bad feeling it's not going to translate well. But we'll see, I guess. Alright, thanks for listening to my ramblings. You guys take care.